Hello, hello. This one is going to need to be rather quick because I do have a lot of work that I have to get done this week, so it's going to be a little difficult for me to record, but I do need to know who Adam is and what role he plays in this because my brain just keeps going back to it over and over and over. I accidentally called my son Adam because it's just as like, So we're going to figure out what that conversation is. What did Maddie tell Adam in terms of telling him everything and what role that played. So I was in the shower, I always say wet hair, I was in the shower, and I was thinking to myself, how can I set this up that it makes sense? And then I'm like, I wonder if maybe I should do it like those 2 rows of 5 that we did previously. If you're new here, you're gonna have to go back a couple of videos to see what I'm talking about because I'm not gonna rehash it for the people who are coming back, which is the majority of you. So we're gonna do the 2 rows of 5 because when I got out of the shower, I had noticed that there was a notification on my phone that somebody commented and she said, I feel like you did the reading this way or had the dream because you were being guided to do the reading with what you got in the dream. And I was like, oh, well, okay, so it's the 2 rows of 5 that we're supposed to be doing. So thank you very much to who left that comment. Speaking of comments, I don't want to keep this part too long, so this isn't about me, but I just wanted to say that I do see all your comments. I just have been very busy with trying to get all these readings out on time. So I am planning on going through and answering as many as you can, but I just wanted to say thank you for the support. I do see all the love and support. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I don't want to spend too much time on that though, so we are going to go into this reading. We're going to do 2 rows of 5, and then we're going to use this deck. It's not necessarily a darker deck. I mean, they just have a picture and 1 word on them, but I do think that it will bring the right dynamic into figuring out what role Adam plays and what he was told that could have a role in this. So we're going to do 2 rows of 5. The Empress in reverse. I do have to stop and make my son dinner, and if he needs anything, so this might have a couple pauses in it, so if it does, that's why. Full transparency here. We got the 3 of Wands. So it may slightly change after the cards come out, but what I'm thinking this is going to be is the first row will be kind of leading up to the conversation, and then the second row will be after, like, kind of like what happened to the information that was filtered through Adam and what became of it based off of that information. It might change a little after the cards come out, but that's what I feel like we're going to have here. Page of Pentacles in reverse. If you remember my other readings, mostly all of them, the page has represented Kaylee. 8 of Swords. That's 4. The Magician. That's the end of the first row. We have the Sun in reverse. This is the first card of the second row. And the King of Cups. Reversed 7 of Pentacles. Reversed Page of Wands. This is the last card, 10th card. Queen of Cups in reverse. Clarifier for the reversed Empress card. Oh, fell on the floor. Balance in reverse. Clarifier for the reverse or the upright 3 of Wands. Communicate in reverse. Now we have the reversed Page of Pentacles. Oh, for some reason in the shower, I was like, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. But I kept thinking that Steve, Kaylee's father, Steve, is going to either pop up in this reading or maybe have it like a piece of information that'll help us make sense or something like that. Like, I just feel like he possibly is going to play some kind of role here. Victory in reverse is the clarifier for the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Sorry, I'm trying to get them all nice and set up. Okay. Then we have the Eight of Swords upright. Instinct upright. The Magician. Clarifier for the Magician. Freedom upright. The Sun, we're in the second row. The Sun, reversed the Sun. Heal. King of Cups. Determination in reverse. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Fear. Page of Wands in reverse. Grow in reverse. And the last one, Queen of Cups in reverse. Sacred. All right, I'm going to pause this for 1 second so I can put them under the other ones. Be right back. Okay, so we are starting with the Empress in reverse and the Three of Wands. So whatever was being talked about was not like a situation between Adam and Kaylee or Maddie. There was definitely a third party involved. So they were talking about someone else, or a situation involving someone else. Like Adam was not a main factor in whatever the situation was that they were talking about, more like a bystander. Balance in reverse and communicate in reverse. This is something that, so Maddie told Adam. So whatever Maddie told Adam is something that was about somebody else and something that Maddie had not talked to that somebody else about. So like whoever the conversation was referencing, Maddie had not had a conversation with that person about whatever it was that she was talking to Adam about at this time. It's likely that she was kind of waiting for the right moment to talk to the other person about this, whoever was on the receiving end of this, who this conversation was about. Kind of like maybe got close to talking about it, or just was waiting for the right moment, or was waiting for the last minute, it could be. But she felt like her message wasn't going to be well received by the other person. So it's almost like balance in reverse, communicate in reverse. It's almost like, you know, like when you say something to somebody so that they say something to somebody else, but you're not like, hey, tell them this, but like you say something so that they perhaps say to the other person, oh, I saw so-and-so and they mentioned this, and then it gets them to come talk to you. That's what this was. It was like kind of planning ahead, like, oh, if I say this to Adam, he'll go and say something to the other, almost like she wanted to tell somebody something but knew it wasn't going to go well. So she was having somebody else break the ice, even if that didn't really pan out well. Like, let's just say, let's just use a very basic decision. Let's say she wants to quit her job and doesn't want to tell somebody about it. It wasn't that, but that's just an example that I'm giving. So it's like she didn't want to tell the other person. Actually, I don't want to use that because then it's going to look like I'm implying the parents. That's not at all what I'm doing. Let me think of a better example. Let's just say she felt hurt by something someone said or a decision that she was going to make for herself. She didn't want to tell somebody else. So instead of just going to that person directly, she was like, oh, you know what? I know that this person kind of has a big mouth, and if I say something to him, especially if I'm drunk, he's going to think I'm just saying it because I'm drunk, but I'm actually being strategic and saying it to him so that he goes and says something to the other person that I'm kind of avoidant saying it to directly. So the other person might be like, oh, I heard this from so-and-so, but it's still a conversation starter that doesn't have to come from you. And I think that that's what she was kind of doing here. There was something she was uncomfortable or not quite knowing how to go about the conversation. So she was kind of poking the bear, so to speak, I guess. Bad example, bad word. She was kind of putting it out there so that this person would alert the other person that there was a situation that needed to be talked about. Then we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse and the Eight of Swords. Yeah, it's like she was back and forth in her mind. Should I say it? Should I not? How should I say it? When should I say it? And she was just like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to talk to this person instead because I know that they'll be the one to kind of get the ball rolling and say something to bring about the possibility or potential for a conversation about it. Be right back. So I do believe that this conversation was not like an issue of Maddie's. I feel like it was something about Kaylee. Because it's almost like she was trying to protect her in some way. Oh. Balance upside down, communicate upside down, victory upside down, instincts right side up. Oh, okay. So something was going on with Kaylee that was making Maddie uncomfortable, and Kaylee wasn't like speaking up for herself or putting a stop to it or something like that. And it got to the point where Maddie was like, either she said, if you don't say something, I will, or maybe that's what she just thought in her mind, like I need to protect you in some way. Like Maddie's motherly instincts kicked in. And I know that everyone's going to say she was drunk, but I think that she was kind of using that to her advantage in a way that it would allow the situation to unfold. Like if she says something to a third party and that third party says something to someone else, it's getting the ball rolling on being able to kind of address whatever situation it was that was going on with Kaylee. So something was going on with Kaylee. Maddie had said something about it to Adam because she felt like Kaylee was like hesitant to say something or too uncomfortable to say something along those lines. But it's something about communicate, instinct, victory, balance. It's something like somebody had said something to Kaylee that made her uncomfortable, or somebody said something to Kaylee or has been saying something to Kaylee that's making her uncomfortable, and she kind of like either hinted or said nicely that she wasn't interested and didn't want it, and that wasn't working. If it was likely a romantic advance, but if it wasn't, whatever it was, she just was not interested, and the other person wasn't either taking the hint or taking the literal words either way. But instinct is upright. We have balance, communicate, and victory all in reverse. And then we have instinct upright. So there was a lack of balance, there was a lack of communication, and somebody wasn't getting what they wanted. And that caused the instinct of Maddie's to kick in to protect Kaylee. Then we have the Magician. So the Magician and Freedom is the end of the top row. And then the first on the bottom row, we have the Sun in reverse and Heal. So, Maddie said something in defense of Kaylee to Adam. And then we have Freedom, Magician. So Adam reached out to someone after this conversation happened. It may have been through text, it may have been through Snapchat, it may have been a phone call, it may have been, I'm assuming probably not later when he got home, because that would kind of create a timeline issue, I think, depending on what time he got out. I mean, I guess it could have been. Depending on what time Adam left, he either reached out to someone while he was still there or upon getting home. Likely when he was still at work or on his way home is my guess. But he definitely reached out to someone else. Freedom is making me think that he was kind of like, yo, I talked to so-and-so. Or in this case, I talked to Maddie and she said this and blah, blah, blah. You might as well just leave the situation alone. Kaylee's not interested. Or maybe, oh, I can't believe what she said. She's all emotional. Something like, whichever way it went, he reached out, because the Magician is also communication, and kind of in this situation, manifesting an outcome, or manifesting the road that leads to an outcome. Am I blaming Adam? No, but I am saying that Adam knows something. Adam knows, whatever was said to Adam is connected to these murders in some way. It is. Is it Adam's fault? No. Is Adam maybe scared to come forward because he feels like it's his fault? Maybe. Should Adam come forward anyway? Yes, because Adam knows something important to this case that will unlock and lead in the direction of who did this. I'm telling you. Don't harass Adam from this video. I don't know what we could do. Maybe write a letter to the police or something. I don't know. Adam knows something is what I'm saying. Adam communicated with someone and said, yo, it's not just, let it go. Free yourself from the situation. Oh, wow. So remember I kept saying that it's like one person with a dual personality, or like two sides of their personality. He communicated with two sides of a personality is what I'm seeing here. Like the higher self, lower self, and they're both kind of poking at each other, almost like a sword. And one of them is like a white and gray, and one's black and gray. So like a pure version and a darker version of the same figure. That's who he communicated with. And again, that might not have been, it might not be easy for the police to pick up on, because it doesn't necessarily have to be through a phone call or text. It could be Snapchat. It could be Instagram Messenger. It could be, I don't know, there's like a million apps that you can communicate on. It's probably not a phone call or a text message that we're looking for, because I feel like if it was, just in my opinion, and I don't want to pull any other cards to confirm because I'm going with the same layout that we have been for a reason. But I do feel like there's some kind of link here to whoever Adam used, whoever he communicated with is either the person that did this or was with or talking to the person that did this. There's a definite connection here between the two events of that conversation and these murders. So we have the sun in reverse with heal. So yeah, it's like, and the frog on this card makes me think like hopping from one thing to another. So it's giving me the image of Adam being a bartender and kind of like getting drinks, washing his hands, shooting out a text. Getting drinks, putting some things in the cash register, shooting out another communication. However, not text, but however he was communicating. That's what the frog is giving me here. Especially because this card has that like flower thing in the middle, and this one kind of has the same up top and the bottom. So it's kind of like, here are the flowers in the middle, and then we have a figure up top and the bottom. Here we have the flower top and bottom and a figure in the middle. So there's definite connection between the two, brought in with the element of communication, and then brought in with hopping from one thing to another. I'm really seeing him like washing his hands, doing something, grabbing the phone, da-da-da-da-da. But that person that he was communicating with at that time is going to know more than him about this, because they'll know who they spoke to about that conversation, or they're the person that did it. He talked to either the murderer or someone who was in direct communication with the murderer. And even if he doesn't know who murdered these people, he would know who he talked to, and that person has a connection to the murderer. Again, this could be so many different apps and so many different, I don't know if they can get all that off the phone. I don't know. And again, please don't harass this boy. I'm not saying any of this is his fault. I'm just saying there's probably something that he could say that he hasn't. Maybe something that he's intentionally trying to hide. But whatever was told to him by Maddie about Kaylee, that was caught on video of them talking about a couple hours before the murders that night, that has something to do with what happened. That's what I'm saying. The sun in reverse is it's like a darkness just came over this person after that communication. And that could be them passing it to another person and then the darkness, or it could just be them as the darkness. But upon receiving this communication, there was a flip in this person, either that person or the person. So looking at it from the perspective of the information that was given to Adam, that information traveled from Adam to someone else, and either that someone passed the information to someone else, or it's that person that we're talking about, but they went from not manic to manic, like that, upon receipt, that like this information was too much for their psyche to handle. I need to go throw dinner in. I'll be right back. Okay. Now we are at the King of Cups with determination in reverse, and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse with fear upright. So that was the Page of Pentacles. I feel like what the conversation about Maddie or about Kaylee had something to do with like a practical matter. So it could have been work, it could have been plans for moving forward, it could have been, I mean, it could have been simply something like, this isn't in her plans for moving forward, or she plans to do this, so I don't know. Something about practicality or like an earthly element playing a role. We have the King of Cups, determination in reverse. So this information traveled from Maddie to Adam to someone else. From that person, it may or may not have traveled to another person, but it's either the person Adam talked to directly or someone that they talked to, okay? That person was emotionally invested in a certain outcome that they then realized was not gonna happen. This may not have been a two-way street, which I don't believe it was. I don't think that there was interest flowing in both directions at all. However, in this person's mind, that was at least possible. And this information that flowed from Adam, either to them or to that somebody and then to them, this information caused this person's emotions to think of it like a dam, like the doors are shut. So the best move, if there's a lot of water and repressed emotions building behind that, would be to kind of cut a little hole in it so it kind of trickle out. But dams burst open with this information. All of that water just, and this person became very, like everything that they had been avoiding feeling, they felt in that moment when they received the information that went through Adam. Again, please don't harass Adam. If you're police and you want to harass Adam, that might be, not harass, but question, that might be a good idea. We have determination in reverse. So it's like, and also, two sides of the personality, both in reverse. And all the cards aren't like that. It's not like they have two on all of them. Well, yeah, see, not all of them. But we keep getting that over and over, that repeating, that two sides, a dual personality, dark and evil, or dark and light. I don't know if I'd go with light. I think that's kind of, one side of this person is dark and one side of this person is numb. So not a great combo. And when that person was triggered, what is going to take over? Pain or numbness? You can't feel numbness. What's going to take over is that pain, that darkness, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I'm really just in my mind seeing a dam bursting open. Like this person just, they had their hopes up, or they had the wrong idea. Well, they definitely had the wrong idea, but they had their hopes up, or like, I don't know, I can't quite get exactly what it was. They saw like an in somehow, and this information that was passed was like like the door shutting on that in, like it wasn't possible anymore. We have the Seven of Pentacles with fear upright, and it's a shark. I don't know like what is causing this, but for some reason this triangle is making me think of their sliding door. Like that's what I'm seeing when I look. I know it's not the same shape and anything like that, but like, I don't know if it's like partially how the water is. It kind of looks like it could be a reflection. I'm just imagining this as like the door jam step when you're going in. I'm seeing this as the door to the house. And then we have Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So this person was not seeing, they weren't looking ahead. Like they received the information, dam burst, emotions all over the place. That caused See, I don't want to say this person had a mental break and was not in control of their decisions, but they were just succumbing to that feeling of not being in control because they felt so internally out of control that externally, instead of being an adult and addressing that in a different way, they just kind of let it, like, think of it as like the dam burst and the water's like rushing out. This person just kind of grabbed a raft and went downstream with the chaos instead of trying to fight against it. So they weren't really looking ahead. I'm feeling like this person kind of like amped themselves up, but then once they got into the house, they were like, oh my gosh. Like, not that they thought about stopping, but just like, I don't think that they really thought that they were going to actually go all the way through with it until they were in the house kind of preparing, and they were like, oh my gosh, wait, I'm in here. And then that just like amped up their rage. It's almost like if you like imagine yourself, okay, so the dam bursts and you grab a raft, pretend you're this person, you grab a raft and you're going down with the rush of the flow of the water. It's almost like he like fell asleep. He didn't fall asleep, but like, it's almost as if you were to fall asleep in that situation and then wake up and like, you're like, oh, that wasn't a dream, I'm still in the water. Like, okay. And then you start to react. Like, that's kind of what happened. Not that he like blacked out or anything like that. Not that he's possessed. He's just dark. So there's no excuses that I'm making for his behavior is what I'm saying. No one else picked to do this but him. But it was kind of like he really didn't think he was going to go all the way through with it. And then once he was there, imagine waking up, imagine taking a nap and you wake up and you're on a raft that's going through like really quickly flowing water. You kind of get startled and just like that adrenaline. That's what happened once he got into the house. So now he's in the house and we have the reversed Page of Cups, or reversed Page of Wands, and grow in reverse. Again, two sides of the same image, and we also have triangles, and since this one is in reverse, they're both going the same direction. This is the door. I'm telling you, that's the door of their house. This is him going in the door as a shark. And then we have grow in reverse. And this also kind of looks to me, and I don't, in no means I don't mean to be inappropriate at all, but it kind of looks like if two people were laying in a bed next to each other, because Kaylee and Maddie were in the bed together, it kind of just looks like that to me. Like he went into the house and these were his targets. He probably knew he was going to encounter both of them, is my guess. Especially if he was watching them earlier in the night. If he didn't know, I feel like he knew there was a good possibility of encountering at least both of them. And then we have the Page of Wands, which the page this entire time has represented Kaylee in all of my readings. So now up top, there was the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So there was some kind of practical matter that was being talked about with Adam in terms of whatever Maddie had said. And also I just want to note, in no way am I blaming Maddie for this happening. Again, there's no way that anyone could have known that this was going to happen. None. Zero. So that's not at all what we're saying here. So we have the Page of Pentacles up there, which is about the message that was something of, my life is going in a different direction. I'm just not interested. I'm planning this, I'm planning that. That's not my plans. I'm just not interested. Something like that. Or I'm planning to go here or there. Something that when translated to a certain person was not received well and caused that dam to burst open. Such as, I'm really not interested in so-and-so, or it could be that Maddie said, oh, this person told Kaylee this and this and this, and that just wasn't received well from the person that Adam decided to tell about it, which is likely the person that it was about or referencing, or a middleman of some sort. But we do have the Page of Wands in reverse now. So the person goes in the house, not seeing long term. It's like this person had this idea in their mind and everything just came tumbling down. And when everything came tumbling down, they didn't see a way they didn't see a way out. All they saw was blinding rage. And then once they got inside, oh, you know what? This is probably going inside the slider and then going into Ethan and Xana, or going to Ethan and Xana. Likely if Ethan opened the door and then everything like I kind of said before. So this would be going into Ethan and Xana, and then the second door would be the upstairs door, because this should be facing upwards if the card's upright, which points to upstairs, but everything kind of got turned around and not good. So I believe that this is downstairs attacks, and then this is the upstairs attacks, which also goes with Kaylee. And then we have the Queen of Cups reversed and Sacred. So there's a starfish on this card, and it also kind of looks like a dream catcher. Could also be like a fishing net. And then we have the Queen of Cups, emotions, water. The way that this night ended in terms of the message that was passed through Adam was that that knife ended up being thrown in a body of water. And the killer if you watched my previous videos and you were a person that had, like I said, if you have a connection in any way that you're going to feel upset by slightly more gruesome information, fast forward. If that's you, please fast forward about 30 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These two cards are saying to me that he threw the weapon in the water, but kept a piece of his main target either permanently with him in the way I mentioned in one of my previous videos, which I'm not going to say again, or could have buried it or kept it somewhere. But there's something that has been kept in some way. And there's also something that's in the water that's a big part of this case, and that is the knife. It's in the bottom of a body of water by like the edge of a dock. How docks go onto the water, like at that, like, would it be that end or the other end? Either the end all the way in the water or the end by the beginning. Whichever one they believe would be harder for somebody else to find. But if things go their way, as in the killer, and they're able to get away with this to a certain extent, I do believe their intention is to go back and retrieve that from the water, but they put it in the water to kind of get rid of any fingerprints or anything. I don't know if it does that or not, but that's what they think it does. They put it in the water somewhere that they feel like they could go back and retrieve it if enough time has passed and they haven't been caught. It's in a body of water by a dock, by like the one end of a dock, either the front end or the out end. I guess it could be like secured, like if this is the dock, maybe secured under it. I feel like that's less likely. I really do feel like it's in the water, because that's a little bit more risky, because then what if they need to do maintenance on the dock? I feel like it's in the water. I don't feel like it's that, but that is a slight possibility. I more so doubt it, but I do feel like it's somewhere where this person was thinking, maybe one day I can go back and get this. But if I don't and somebody else finds it, there won't be evidence on it, or they won't connect it. I know that sounds like, but it's a souvenir in that person's eyes. So that's kind of why. That is all the cards. Do I want to pull any other cards? I'm going to pull 4 cards. I'm going to do Ethan, Xana, Maddie, Kaylee. What one card would each of them give in reference to this reading? So first is Ethan. What does Ethan want us to know? 2 of Pentacles. So what Ethan is trying to say here is this person felt like they had no other choice. This person truly in their mind felt like they weren't able to push past it, push past that overflood of emotions, push past their worst nightmare coming, maybe not their worst nightmare, but something very inconvenient for them when they were in a very delicate mental state. It's like something caught them off guard that they didn't see coming, or that they were hoping wasn't going to come, such as seeing potential with someone and then getting rejected, for example, or something close to that or along those lines. But the person couldn't see any other way forward. It's like they could do this, or they could just go absolutely, well, I mean, this was absolutely crazy, but like in the killer's mind, it was like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna go crazy. Xana. The Tower in reverse. So these cards are what they would tell us in reference to this information that was passed along. Maddie's intention was to avoid some kind of disaster. I'll be right back. Okay, so where was I? Maddie was trying to avoid some kind of disaster. So it kind of really lines up with previous readings where I said that she felt off about somebody. She felt nervous about the energy she was getting from somebody in relation to Kaylee. And she was trying to protect her and avoid anything bad happening. So I don't want to say, she had some kind of inkling that she needed to do something in order to protect her friend and herself. Maybe not herself at that time. Maybe she was thinking that. It was more Kaylee, but 2 peas in a pod. So kind of both. And then Maddie. The Hierophant in reverse. she was trying to bring about the change that she felt needed to happen in like an unconventional way. She believed that something was wrong or something was off, and she was trying. Maybe she had said to Kaylee, like, you need to say something, or you need to do something, or this or that, or this or that. And Kaylee, for whatever reason, wasn't comfortable doing it or didn't want to do it yet. They could have been waiting for the right time. But hearing like, F it, I'm just going to do it. Or F it, I'm just going to say it. F it, I got to say something. One of them. I'm seeing Maddie in the bathroom. I bet you if we got footage from the bar, Maddie will have been in the bathroom. Probably not alone, but like when she was in the bathroom, she kind of was talking to herself like, should I do it? Should I not? Should I say something? Should I not? And then when she went out, I bet you she saw the opportunity to talk to Adam in that moment and was like, nope, I'm gonna do it now. He's available. He's not doing anything, or he's not talking to anybody. Nobody's around him right now. Nobody's ordering drinks from him right now. Or maybe they made eye contact. I don't know, but I bet you that she will have been in the bathroom, came out, and either made a beeline straight to Adam or shortly after leaving the bathroom talked to Adam, because when she was in the bathroom, she was kind of saying to herself, should I say something? Should I not? Maybe she thought Kaylee might be upset with her for saying something. But either Maddie had said something to Kaylee before, like you need to say something, or you need to tell him to stop, or something like that. Or it could have been that maybe she tried to talk to somebody else about it previously. Like maybe Kaylee was on board, like, yeah, go ahead, say something. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Especially not with the way that she was like, what did you tell? Maybe, I don't know. Either way, but it could have been that maybe she tried to say something to somebody else before, and that person just was like, okay, maybe wasn't listening and didn't tell the other person, like was kind of the purpose of it. Or maybe they tried to talk directly to the person that it was about before, and the conversation just didn't produce any results, or the person just kept saying or doing something anyway that they were being asked not to. I don't know. It's one of them. But I always try to get like some kind of like solid proof that like police could use. So what I can say here is, if on video you see Maddie go from the bathroom straight to Adam and begin talking, and then within the next 10 to 20 minutes, if Adam picks up his phone, he's talking to either the person who did this or somebody who was in direct contact with who did. But either way, you'll be able to trace communication through that and figure out who talked to who. So if that aligns with any police theories or anything like that, maybe that's a way that you can kind of track it or trace it, who was spoken to. I am really feeling like it's not going to be a text or a call. It's like a messaging app or Snapchat. I'm almost feeling like it's Snapchat that he was, and I don't know if you can bring back up, I don't know, I'm sure they can, like somehow. I don't know. Which makes me think, like, does he know that this person's kind of a little unhinged, and maybe that's why he didn't want I'm just really not seeing it as a phone call or a text message. And I think that that's why it hasn't been traced, maybe. But he talked to someone and that person knows something. Be right back. Okay, and now we are on to, did I finish what I was saying? I think so. Now we're on to Kaylee. The World in Reverse. So that's about closure. Specifically personal closure. Adam knows something that could clear something up that could lead to the right person here. Especially because I still believe that Kaylee was the target. And if we're going with everything that was just said in this reading about Maddie protecting Kaylee, saying something, and then that kind of leading to a chain of events here. Especially because it's a snake. This person didn't know how to control their emotions. They didn't know how to calm themselves down. And again, they just kind of, when the dam burst, they got on a tube and they floated along with it. And they took some kind of shortcut somewhere, though. I'm telling you, there's something. Wait, why am I feeling like shortcut is... So if Maddie was in the bathroom saying, should I say it, should I not, should I say it, should I not, and then came out of the bathroom, okay, so I'm getting that the girls came out of the bathroom and were heading to the same like table or area, but one went one way and one went the other way, and she stopped and talked to Adam. It was like they could still see each other, so they weren't worried about where one another was, I don't think, but it's like Maddie went straight back to the area from the bathroom and Kaylee went to the bar and talked to Adam. Or if he wasn't behind the bar, maybe she saw him and kind of like veered over in his direction, and then there's a point where they separate for a short time, not far from one another, but far enough away that Maddie could have a private conversation, and she saw that as her moment to talk about whatever this was. Yeah, I don't want to say too much more right now, but I am working on a theory in which I'm trying to get as much... I'm trying to be led to some kind of like tangible proof or evidence. I feel like I'm getting close, but I'm not there yet. Yeah, that's all that we're gonna get with this today, I think.